is the Double Special Master.
Live and direct.
Breakfast with CubCamTV.
Trickstar Radio.
Yes then, people, just gone 4 minutes past 9 here on Trickstar Radio. We are back inside the building. It's myself, Kovu, and we are jumping into a very special section. As always, a massive shout out to all the locked in gang. If you haven't already, make sure you go and download the Trickstar Radio app. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribing to youtube.com/CubCamTV, where you may well be watching this video, because over on CubCamTV, over the last sort of year or so, we've been building a bit of a following, primarily looking at exploring Afrobeat and dancehall music. So today, given that we're about halfway through the year at this point, I thought we'd do something a little bit special and jump into a list essentially breaking down my top 5 Afrobeat tracks of 2021 so far. And we've got loads of bangers in there. There's some very recognizable names and a couple of less recognizable names as well. I am so looking forward to putting this list together, because at the moment there are fewer things that make me happier than listening to Afrobeat music and finding new Afrobeats that actually bring joy to the morning. Obviously, this is a breakfast show for those watching on YouTube. They may not have seen the show before. We run this 7 till 10 Monday to Friday, and we try to bring you as many different flavors from around the world in the track listings we bring together. And 9 times out of 10, we find bangers, and it's one of the best places to actually discover a lot of new music. So do make sure you lock in live. For now, though, let's get into discussing the tracks on this listing. We're going to run through all 5 here today. If you're watching on YouTube, you probably won't be able to actually hear the tunes, but I'll leave links in the description down below for you to actually find the links and find the tunes themselves, so you can go and listen in full. And I'm pretty sure all of these have had reactions on the channel as well, so go and look up those to see a more in-depth version of each of those. But for now, let's jump into number 5 on today's listing, The Sounds of Tenny with For You featuring Davido. Wow, what a tune this is. Again, the link up in this one is something very, very special. We know Davido has harmonies, we know Tenny is extremely talented in what she does, but the way these two link up on this, I remember listening to this when it first landed and the hairs on the back of my neck were standing up instantaneously. The harmonies they bring, the energy levels that they put into this tune, it's special. It is a very, very special piece of music, and that is why it is on today's listing at number 5. We're going to be ranking these as we go, so please do make sure you are sticking around. We're going to get into this one right about now, The Sounds of Tenny with For You featuring Davido. It's just gone 7 minutes past 9 here on the Big Bad Trickstar Radio. You're locked into Breakfast with Kovu. Keep it locked.
Oh, my ego now for you.
Oh, my ego for you.
Oh, my rapa now for you.
Sounds of Tenny alongside Davido, that one for you. You can tell what I mean about those harmonies being special. That's why it sits as the first entry in our top 5 listing. But now we're going to move into track number 4 as we slowly count down our top 5 Afrobeat tracks of 2021 here on Breakfast with Kovu. The next one comes to us from an artist who has been absolutely smashing it since the start of the year, Sarkodie. This one is a corker of a tune. It goes by the name of No Fugazi. Incredible instrumental work, and obviously with Sarkodie, we know he's going to be bringing something special vocally, both in the flow patterns he brings and of course the intricate lyricism he provides at the same time. It's a fantastic display. It's a display of mastery, I feel, from Sarkodie. There's no point in this where he gets too hyper or too OTT. He keeps it level, he keeps it smooth, he keeps it very, very enjoyable to listen to on a sonic level, and that's why this one sits at number 4 on today's listing. And trust me, the list is getting hotter and hotter as we move down. It's going to be very, very difficult for any tune to get further as we move forward. So keep it locked and don't go anywhere, my friends. We are live on the Big Bad Trickstar Radio right about now at KXVU, at Trickstar Radio on the socials. And if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribing to youtube.com/CubCamTV. Let's go.
My niggas say when them say watch your blog, and you know for gazing in this corner, bro. Before you cap the Lamborghini truck.
Ridiculous sounds on this one. Sarkodie with No Fugazi. What an absolute banger it is. That one coming in at number 4 on today's listing for our top 5 Afrobeat tracks of 2021. And trust me, from this point onwards, it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. This is a very hot studio room. You can probably see a bead of sweat dripping down my forehead if you're watching on the cameras. It is very, very warm in here, and the levels these tunes are bringing is just making it even warmer inside the place. So let's move into track number 3 as we count down. So this one comes to us from an artist who is on a fantastic run of releases. The guy seems to be able to not put a foot wrong. He's had wicked collaborations over the last few months with the likes of Skepta and a couple of other people as well. His singles release schedule, however, has been something truly, truly spectacular. He had a track called Woman out last year, which was a mind-blowing success for me, and this one is his latest single, and it is straight into the top 3. It is that strong a single. The sounds of Rema, it goes by the name of Soundgasm, and this one is something very, very special indeed. When you listen to the clarity and the pure, the power of his vocal lines in this, despite the fact they are very high-pitched vocal lines. It is an incredible tune. It is another display of mastery when it comes to melody and vocal ability. So we're going to get into this one now. Number 3 on today's listing, the sounds of Rema with Soundgasm. Keep it locked. We're live on Trickstar. Right then, just coming up to 18 minutes past 9 here on Trickstar Radio. Out to the locked-in crew each and every time as we continue to run down our top 5 Afrobeat tracks of 2021 here on Breakfast with Kovu. That one coming to us from Rema in number 3, track entitled Soundgasm. But moving forward, we're getting into this one. An artist who, until this tune, I was unaware of. He's someone who's very, very new, but has landed with a major splash and is making some real noise. It goes by the name of Loj, and this one is him alongside SARS featuring WizKid. It goes by the name Love and Attention. Now, I saw this one pop up on my feed and I had a quick listen. I was like, okay, this slaps. I then went back about 10 minutes later because the earworm effect had set in and it was all I wanted to listen to. I've listened to this tune on repeat numerous times. I've showed it to 1,000 people. I haven't found anyone who doesn't love it yet. And that instantaneous impact of this one with its very electronic style, the production elements are so crispy and punchy, is what makes it special. And for me, this one does sit at number 2 on the top 5 Afrobeat tracks of 2021. It is Loj alongside SARS, Love and Attention featuring WizKid. Let's get into it right about now. It's a banger. It's a scorcher. It's going to turn up the heat this morning on The Breakfast Show, so don't go anywhere.
Girl, I need your love and attention. I need your love and attention. I need your love and attention.
Fantastic stuff on that one. Loj alongside SARS, Love and Attention featuring WizKid. An absolute scorcher, and what a way to announce yourself to the world. For Loj, obviously SARS has an incredible production history. WizKid is one of the most talked about names in music around the world in general right now, constantly charting with different releases, and for Loj to get involved in that was absolutely spectacular. But now we are going to be jumping into the number 1 track of 2021 Afrobeat wise. I'm so excited to get into this one because it does of course come to us from the legend that is Burna Boy. His most recent single, it goes by the name of Kilometer, and it is an absolute scorcher. When we talk about this tune, we talk about all of the different elements that Burna Boy represents in his music. It's high energy. There's so much percussion going on. There's so many different rhythms and layers and an incredible layer of vocal over the top of it. This is exactly what people want to hear from Burna Boy, and for me, this is a very, very special tune indeed. I cannot wait to get into it right about now. It is number 1 on today's listing, and I'm so excited to jump into it. We are live on the big bad Trickstar Radio right about now at KXVU, at Trickstar Radio, and if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribing to youtube.com/CubCamTV, and of course, downloading the Trickstar Radio app. There we go, the sounds of Burna Boy with Kilometer. What an absolute banger of a tune that one is. A very valid winner of this selection of the show, the top 5 Afrobeats tunes of 2021, according to myself, Kovu, here on Breakfast on Trickstar Radio. It's been an absolute pleasure putting this list together. I love every single one of the tunes on the list, and in general, when we do these lists, the funnest part about them for me is literally being able to go and listen back to all of the tracks, and then I have to go through the struggle of finding the order to put them in without making myself and obviously you guys upset as well. So if you would like to see more of these lists, do message in at KXVU, at Trickstar Radio. You can even message into the Trickstar Radio app as well if you haven't already downloaded it. And of course, if you are watching on YouTube, do leave a comment in the comments section down below. I'm always keen to hear about what you guys would like to hear me do more of. Obviously, just music in general is my thing. I love exploring music from around the world. So if there are any specific lists you would like me to get into on these sections of the show, please do let me know. It's always good fun to do. And as always, make sure you're subscribing and downloading the Trickstar Radio app.
This is Breakfast with Kovu, bringing you their morning flavors on Trickstar Radio.
Trickstar Radio.